Thank you for joining me on TMI Tuesday. I did say that we'll be looking at illegal migration and the Edo story. We'll look at the challenges that all of those migrants face in the course of traveling from Nigeria to their destination. All of these issues that the migrants have been facing. And we've had returnees from Libya in their various batches. And we'll look at also the efforts of the state government in changing the narrative, in making sure that they are well rehabilitated, the welfare of them, and how it intends to stem the tide in terms of ensuring that those who are involved in the business of all of this trafficking are brought to prosecution. Well, this is the crux of our discussion today, and I have distinguished personalities with me, starting from my extreme left. I have the senior pastor of Rest and Blessed Glorious Assembly. It's no one else but Pastor Omogbe Egwagie. Many thanks for coming, Pastor.
Thank you very much. God bless you, Philip.
And also next, I have the senior pastor of Voice of Redemption Ministry. He is John Owugbesweke Make. Okay, Owugbesweke Omake.
Yeah.
I find it a bit difficult pronouncing that, but thank you for putting me through, because I had a lecture on it even before we started our discussion right now. But what does that mean?
Thank you very much, Omogyopo. What it means is that there's no way death can go through a family. There will still not be a remaining person in the family. They will still have somebody remaining in the family. It might be a son or a grandson or great-grandson or great-grandchild. There must still be somebody in the family.
Thank you.
Just unlike what happened, how David said, is there anyone still remaining in the house of Saul? Then Zippah said, yes, I can remember, there is still one remaining. His name is Mephibosheth, but he's a cripple. But despite that, David still asked, go and fetch him for me to favor him. And the Mephibosheth were fetched to David, and David favored him. Meaning there was still somebody remaining in that family. Because David thought there was still nobody. He said, is there anyone remaining? But somebody still remained there.
Thank you, Pastor John Owugbe. Well, all of this could link to the various issues emanating from the country, Edo State in particular, over the challenges that migrants have been facing. Now, there have been some of them are being killed in the Mediterranean Sea, some die in the desert, and all of this. But in a way to change the narrative, in order to make the people of Edo State well enlightened and not to make their children or relatives embark on such bad mistake and ugly trend. What do you see as the role of clergy, of the role of the clergy, religious leaders in tackling this? Have you seen it very encouraging?
The role of clergy in this matter, they have a lot to do. They have a lot to do than the government. People that goes to the clergy, that goes to the sanctuary to worship God, they hear more from the clergymen than the government. And the clergy have a role to play than preaching a word, than preaching a word of not prosperity, but the word of call it self.
Okay, but if we look at the way it has been, there's this impression that some religious leaders tend to encourage this practice by ensuring that they pray for them, they tell them, well, they will go successfully, even when they know that this journey will be a bad mistake.
Yes. The reason why they do it is because they are preaching prosperity instead of preaching salvation. When they preach salvation to them, that one will give them more encouragement to stay, not to travel. They know the risk they are taking is too much. But the clergymen encourage them, thinking when they got there, their tithe will be coming. They value their tithe than the soul that will be living for risk. But if they preach salvation to them, they value their salvation than the prosperity they are going there for.
Okay, do you encounter some who could be your members who wants to embark on this trip? Have you encountered that, and how were you able to counsel them?
Yes, I've encountered that. I was able to counsel them by letting them know what has happened. Not the way you are seeing it that look like a greener pasture. It's not a greener pasture. Yes. That this place we are, you can do something and survive. You can do something and succeed. Then I have to encourage and use Bible words to encourage and discourage her from traveling. Okay. This one I'm talking about now, she has a husband. She came that she want to live. That her sister...
She has a husband.
She has a husband.
And she was thinking of people leaving the husband for the journey.
Yes. She's so desperate to travel that her sister promised, tell her, come, don't worry, somebody is coming to pick you. When you get to Abuja, somebody pick you, blah, blah, blah. She came for prayer that can lead her for safety. I told her, why? Is your husband involved in this? She said, yes, her husband is involved.
And even approved of it.
I said, will your husband approve such a thing? Then I sent for her husband. Then I have to talk sense into her husband. You are the one that's supposed to have taken care of this woman, not the woman taking care of you. And finish talking to the man has not been my member, but after finishing with them, then I just find a way to engage the man. The man is artwork, those that do artwork. Then I have to engage him, get a job for him, and he got that job, he finished that job, I got somebody again, he got the job, and he did it. I said, with this one, if your work is good, this man likes it, he will introduce to somebody else. You can be able to take care of your family. Your work don't need to travel.
Okay, thank you. Pastor Egwake, do you have a similar experience?
Not similar, but so different from my brother's view, my friend's view.
All right.
You see, in life, every one of us have different opinion, and we have different destination. And when we come to issue of migration and trafficking, we should understand the quote and the definitions. I don't believe in trafficking, but I believe in migration. When people migrate from one place to the other, looking for greener pasture, you don't object them, you don't stop them.
Yes, now, what we're looking here is illegal migration.
Thank you very much. Now, to them, you may call it illegal, but to those people that are living for a greener pasture, they don't look at that in that direction. They just believe that they are fed up with the system, they are tired with what they are saying. So,
but would that be the right way?
I'm coming. Let me learn, Mr. Philip. They believe that what they are seeing on ground and the system they are coordinating, and it's not fair. So they believe the option and the best way to go is to look for a better greener pasture somewhere. So in international standard, even the word used illegal migration is under quote. They are looking for a better name to call it now. They call it what? I think undocumented immigrants. That's the name they are using now. So using them illegal is not, because these people that are going somewhere, they have document to prove that this is where I'm coming from. These are stamp, these are tape, these are this. So they have some document that relate to their personality.
You seem to sympathize with the immigrants.
I'm not sympathizing, but we need to say the truth. The Bible says, you say the truth, know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Now, if you, as a pastor or as a coordinator now, you look at the scenario of what is happening. People decide to take the bull by the horn and say, look, we are fed up of what is happening. Let us take a better step. You don't have to object them. Just look at what we read in the paper today. 5 million Nigerian babies lack nutrition. 5 million. So when we are talking about migration or illegal trafficking, I strongly believe that the only way to curb this menace is we should look at the policies and the things we are doing in our own country that will retain our people not to be traveling abroad. To stop them to go is another legacy for we to build our home in order to encourage people not to travel abroad.
Okay, Pastor Amoge, we are saying this because of what has been happening. Now, I would expect that the PDA will be showing a clip on the challenges that the migrants face whenever they embark on this journey. In the course of embarking on the journey from Nigeria to their destination, some die in the desert, some die in the Mediterranean Sea. Now, this would have been averted. This would have been kind of tactically disallowed if only the ministers or the religious heads tend to counsel their members on the need for them to go legally. So what do you think about that?
Now,
aren't religious leaders supposed to counsel members on the need to go and embark on this journey legally?
Now,
right to avoid all of this mishap?
From 2010, go to record. You discover the white man doesn't need you in his own country. I am saying the white man, naturally, they don't want you to come to their country. So that's why they're tightening the migration laws, so that you cannot easily enter the way you're supposed to be. So these people, some of them that I know, I'm my in-law. He tried so many options, trying to go by air. Everything was blocked. The requirement, he cannot meet up. So he took the other option, and today is there. His life is changed. So personally, I cannot object migration. I cannot object because I know that this, the era we are and the time we are, people are there. You see, Archbishop said faith is a risk. Now, when you believe that you, as a person, you are not going to die in the desert, you can get there. I'm not objecting it.
So they can go through the desert, they can go through
and get the
Mediterranean Sea.
Definitely, God will take it. Faith is a risk.
Thank you. Pastor John.
Let me quickly say something, sir, before you ask your question. You see, when he's talking about they are fed up of their country going to migrating to other countries.
They call greener pasture.
Yeah, called greener pasture. What I'm trying to say is that is the spirit of distraction that comes into them. But if you see most of those people, they have returned from Libya, you ask them, what are you doing? Somebody will tell you that I'm a welder, or I was a welder.
Yes.
Or somebody will tell you,
artisan.
I was an electrician, I was this, I was that, I was this. Somebody will tell you, yes, I was a policeman, I decided to travel. It's spirit of distraction. If you concentrate and focus on what you are doing here, you don't need to migrate anywhere. You can succeed there despite the way the country is today.
Okay, but quickly, let's look at the aspect where he spoke about the economic challenges that these people face that made them frustrated to the point of seeking for greener pastures. Isn't the government supposed to fix that? And what page is the government in terms of doing that?
Yes.
Most especially at the state level.
First and foremost, we should know that there was a distraction first that made them. Then the government, that what they're supposed to do, at least they have to set up industries, place that can engage these people. But there are still some, even where everywhere there is jobs everywhere, they still have that mindset of migrating or traveling at. You can seek some people.
Because of this distraction you're talking about?
Yes, this distraction. Even though you can put here now, ITV want to employ 1,005 or 2,000 youths. You still somebody that will still come and said, I don't need the job, I want to travel. Even while they will still say they need the job, maybe they must have targeted something that can take them far, that can take them away and that they can take them to where they are going. Because when destiny have not gotten to its destination, it will not stop.
Okay. We still expect the presence of the senior special assistant to the governor on illegal migration and human trafficking, Solomon Okodowa, to answer some questions. But still on this subject, Pastor Gwage,
thank you.
Don't you feel the impulse of the state government in ensuring that it changes the narrative, looking at the way it has taken care of these returnees from Libya?
Yes.
Don't you see it as laudable?
Actually, I will commend the state government for the jobs done so far. We are not disputing their effort. We love whatever they are doing to contribute their own quota to these people's life. But actually, I will let you know that as we speak, people are still carrying their bag to travel abroad through the Mediterranean Sea. Now, if the government really want to stop this trade, what I believe they will do is that they should put policies on ground that will work, that will make people feel at home. Because many people, they are Nigerians, but they don't feel at home. We should believe that if we, as a government, we want to assist this scenario, we should be able to put policies on ground that will assist the common man in order to discourage them from traveling in such difficult rigors. So I strongly believe that the government, they've done their own best, but I want to let you know this one. Benin says, in a Benin, it says, That means the river that kills is what we still drink. So definitely people knows that life is only a challenge. So when they believe that when they get there, life is going to be better, and they will always go there.
So which means you counsel your members to embark on the trip.
If anybody wills to go
without having the right documents.
I have about 5 members that have been there. We passed through and they succeeded. Nobody died in the sea. So if they have the will, go and say,
what about those who didn't succeed?
God is their fate. God knows why. But if you know you will succeed and you want to pray and go there, God will give you the grace to be there.
So God gives grace.
Definitely. Go through. Now, if you look at the case of Naomi in the Bible, he left willingly looking for a Ghana pastor many years ago. That's 1 years ago. Looking for a Ghana pastor, he went to Moab. The Moab of a country is not in God's favor. It's not in God's plan. It's, to Israel, Moab was an enemy. But Naomi left Israel to Moab looking for a Ghana pastor. All of a sudden, what they found was not encouraging. He had to come back home. So if these people, by the special grace of God, they discover where they are going to is not better than where they left, they should come back. Now, a time came in this country where Ghana must go. You heard it? Ghana must go, Ghana must go. You know, Ghana, we're driving them home. But the time also came that we didn't ask them to go, they have to live by themselves. They went to because their country was better today. Ghana is okay. You don't usually see Ghanaians in Nigeria anymore. They go home because their home has been arranged for them. So we should arrange Nigeria for people that are bigger to travel. They are looking for a way to get up somewhere. Our government and the institutions should place things on ground that will retain Nigerians on ground.
Well, thank you. We've been following this trend, we've been following this report, and we really see the challenges that people have been faced with. I have the presence of the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki, on illegal migration and human trafficking. He's no one else but Solomon Okodua. Many thanks for coming, Solomon.
Good morning.
Well, we've been having this chat, and the religious leaders are saying that they have different opinions on that. But let's look at this aspect and the narrative of the Edo story. Can you say that those who have been returned, the state government is doing its best to ensure that they are well rehabilitated? And can you also say that there is much improvement in that struggle since you came on board as the SSA to the governor on illegal migration and human trafficking?
Yes, I will give you that a very straight answer to that effect, because the state governments, you will recall that before now, no government in Edo State have given attention to this issue of human trafficking and illegal migration, just the way this man, Mr. Obaseki, is doing.
No government in Edo State?
In Edo State, that is
forgotten history?
Yes, I know that I'm coming to somewhere. Let me. That is the way. The way it is now. I'm talking about returnees, because returnees are those who think of, let me go back, because when I came back, nobody rehabilitated me, nobody reintegrates me. And because of that pain, because of that that anger, the returnee of yesterday become a trafficker today, looking for a way to recoup his or have more money they lost yesterday.
Yes.
And they become, other become victims to them. Now, this man has saw this and said, no, let us set up a reintegration process to reintegrate and empower these returnees. That is why I said no governments, because there's one thing to bring returnees and there's another thing to, reintegrate them.
Okay.
Now we have returnees reintegration farm under process now. That is in an Obayato community to reintegrate. That is set up by this government. There's a training going on that the government has laid up for returnees. And you see, Edo State government is partnering with IOM, International Organization for Migration, reintegrating returnees, and every returnee that come through IOM program, they are entitled to a particular package. Some that is the government edition in Pearls, and that is in three, and give them 1.2 million naira to start up a business. These are the enabling environment this government has created for
1.2 million naira to start up a business.
A business,
irrespective of the field.
They go outside and they identify area of interest. They don't just put them. So my into this fish ponds, so my into sales of cement, so my into. You choose area, something you think you are comfortable with.
So, and if they are trained,
yes,
to a point,
yes,
they give them this package.
The training doesn't take more 1 month. The training is about 2 weeks, in 1 week, or we are thereabouts.
Have we had recipients on this?
Addressing what?
Have we had recipients, as in those who are
many? I'm not saying 100. I'm not saying 200. In Benin, there are many.
who have received
yes,
a minimum of 1.2 million.
What I will call individual reintegration plan. Those are even those one get even 1 million. The depends on their cases. Like a pregnant woman that had this and that came down that has some health challenges. After addressing the health issues, you know what happened? They gave her money to start up a business. You know, all these things are things, the ways the government feel that yes, the people need to be conditioned and they need to be, you know, given a proper rehabilitation from the inside. You know, now doing that, not to dash money out to people. Now, what do you say you want to do with your life? The guy said, I want to set up a business. What kind of business do you want to set up? Do you have people in that business? You say yes. Now, they bring people like-minded and put them and give them a training, proper training by professionals. These are not political issues. These are things that are reality in these states, and people are beneficiaries in this matter. Now, just to add a voice to what the man of God was saying just now, looking at the ways our people are being treated in Europe, looking at it in Libya, looking at the way they are being hung to this and they are being kept in the captivity to get money, and you call down this and that, God give grace to that issue. God doesn't give that such a grace. There are proper ways to travel. There are legal ways to travel, and those
but some who have traveled through the Mediterranean Sea, they survived.
Some
went through the desert, they survived.
But think about the thousands of people that were drowned in the Mediterranean Sea. Think about those that were dehydrated in Sahara Desert.
Okay, do you seem to believe that some religious leaders or clergy seem to support this?
Yes. From the analysis the pastor is giving now, you find out that yes, there are people who are encouraging. If you want to travel, you come to my church, I pray for you, you cry, that is, the Mediterranean Sea will just be like a erosion for you, you cross. You know, so they give us such a hope. We might have cases because we are listening to get some of them arrested because of the victim who identifies some people like this. There are sermons you preach on the people. Let me tell you a story of a young pastor that we're listening and that we have now. A pastor from the pulpit and they encourage a young girl from the choir that God listen, I have a vision for you. God say I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make a better future in Europe. And because the message is coming from the pulpit, the girl believed because the man of God is speaking from the pulpit. A choir, that sing very beautifully. He said, this is your voice. White man will just see you and say how much I will go to buy, will marry you and pay you the money. This girl was made to cough out $45,000.
That was a bad example.
You understand?
Yes, very bad.
$45,000. And after that, the girl came back, being at the mercy of the state government to get a single room to stay. After giving the madam, who has a connection with the pastor here in Benin. And the mother was also demanding for $1,000 to return the oaths the girl was made to took before they left. And this matter came from the pulpits. Now, there are some messages the pastors preach. We are not saying don't travel abroad. The government never said don't travel abroad. The government will say if you want to travel the right way. There are better ways to travel. You can travel. Whoever that wants to invite you, tell the person, send me an invitation. Then there are processes. Then let the government of the country you are going to know that you are leaving the country. And let the government of Nigeria also
address the reason why these persons are leaving. What? Because when the pastor spoke, he spoke about the challenges, the economic hardship that people are faced with, that made them to embark on that trip. Isn't government doing something about that? Because we heard about
is Edo State the poorest state in Nigeria. Let's come to is Edo State the poorest state in Nigeria? Is Edo State now? If we have 300 returnees that return from Libya, you will have 200 from Edo. Is Edo State the poorest? So it's a matter of mindsets. You understand? It's a matter of mindset and information. Now we understand the proceeds that have come from abroad and the effect in Edo State. We understand that most of the buildings, most of the houses, most of the stores are being built, and these are the things that are fueling. They are a good factor from these states. Now we need the clergymen at this time. That's why we'll be listening from time to time. You'll be seeing us on this matter. We'll be going to church to tell people. You understand? So don't think that yes, every message that you hear from the pulpits about traveling abroad, and if anyone that falls short of legally is a message of doom.
Thank you. I'll come back to you. But to you,
can I
yes, you can.
Listen, you see, not all message. There may be message and prophecy might comes to say, you when you get to abroad, you will make it. Your star is not here, your star is in abroad. Not everybody that has a star.
So if there's a prophecy like that?
Let me tell you something.
That say your star is not here in your country, it's overseas.
When you get there, listen, you know, everybody, as I said before, I say until your destiny get to your destination, you cannot rest or you cannot get what you want. Your destiny keep moving until it gets to its destination. Now, what is there? Now, he told that the prophecy or the message when the people came like that, it doesn't mean that the person must go through illegal means. Doesn't mean must go through illegal means.
So the person must go for exploitation to get that destiny fulfilled. The person has no skill, he has no training, he has no that person a hope. Okay, that when he gets to Europe, he makes
yes, we are going to cross-analyze this. But Pastor Wigbe, you have the floor.
Listen, sir. Now, you say you don't have a skill.
No skills, no good educational background. How do you think that person will fulfill that destiny when he gets to Europe? He spoke about star.
How do you know that?
He spoke about star.
Your star does not have anything to relate with educational background.
Really?
Yes. When God's hand is involved.
All right.
When God's hand is involved.
So God to Europe and tell you, Pastor, we don't spread this message. God tell you or give you that vision to embark on such a journey, because your star is not in this country, your star is in another country, and then you go through it illegally.
I said legally. I'm talking about illegally.
Okay.
I'm not talking. I said legally.
Okay, it has to be legal.
When I traveled, I went to Embassy, I went to Abuja.
Okay, but these persons who embarked on illegal means, through illegal means, they also were being cajoled by some men of God who believe that, well, their stars are not in the country, that they should go through whatever means to get to where their stars are. That could also be encouraging it.
No, I cannot really emphasize on that, because I'm not there. I don't do such. Just as I've explained before, even when I've encountered a member that want to travel, I told you how I come.
Like you did say.
As I come out there.
Yes, but Pastor Egwaje seems to differ.
Yes.
I'll come back to you.
Yes. But let Egwaje. I want us to clear this issue.
Okay.
I am not comfortable with the way we are using illegal. I want us to be very, very frank about this issue. Yes, they are undocumented.
Is it not even sinful? Is it not sinful to embark on a journey without legal documents? Are you not supposed to have the right documents?
Thank you very much.
To embark on a journey? Must you go through short corners? That's why we are having this challenge.
Okay.
And you seem to encourage it, because as a man of God, you also believe that their star is not in the overseas.
Yes.
Should they go through that means? Is it not sinful? Is God supporting that?
Okay, thank you very much. Now, if you look at the case of Joseph in the Bible, it's not different from what we're talking about now. He went through that rigors to get to Egypt. And Egypt, God blessed him. You see, everybody's destiny is not the same. That's what I'm saying. You see, the brothers of Joseph bundled him. They bundled him and sent him to where he was not expected. Didn't expect. And by the power of God, by the grace of God upon his life, he got to Egypt and he was established. And he was the one that saved his brothers. In Genesis 50 verse, he said, what the enemy meant for me for evil, that's not for good. So you cannot be emphasizing that this is what the government have for grant for these people, this is what is this and that. You see, how many policies are working in this country? Let's be frank as is here. You are telling people to go to abroad now. Look at the other day, they were protesting on television that this is what the money said they want to give to them. They didn't give to them, and you are telling me that the police are working. We are not
saying that they shouldn't embark on a journey, but they are saying go through it.
Thank you very much. How many of them can attain the legal process of going to that place? Now, the rigors now,
we don't have give room for illegality.
There is no illegality. It's so undocumented traveling. That's what I'm telling you. That's what the international body is calling now. It's not illegal.
Okay, thank you.
It's undocumented traveling.
I'll come back to you on that. Okodua, let's look at it on a stretch, because we have had these issues. Now, these various persons that have returned and are back, some of them could not be so comfortable with agriculture. Now, how is the governor of the day making agriculture attractive for them to embark on?
See, Mr. Philip, there are returnings today. who are beneficiaries of this agricultural program. You know some of them. You know some of them now. And as we speak now, in Ute community, before the river there's a big snail farm there. Now this program is program that was partnered by Edo State government and Action Aid International.
Okay, so there are farmlands.
There are not just farmlands. These are people that are verifiable. They are doing well. Now they were trained. These are returnees.
I'm not able to say that them farmlands. Who gave them plots?
The plots?
Yes.
They acquire plots. I will give this and the donor agency give them the implements, and they are working and they are doing well with it. They are happily doing. One is about that. In fact, they are even taking their product to market.
Okay, but you made mention of one.
Not one.
What about? Are there not others?
We have 3,888 returnees as we speak now. Okay. 3,888 since November 7, 2017.
Are you saying that all of this have been engaged?
No, not all of them. We do it in phase 6. On Friday last week, we received another batch of returnees. And on this of Friday, and those are the number is included. So we cannot just, there are processes.
Okay, but every batch you receive, yes. Are you able to engage all the number in that batch?
Definitely, that is why we have data. We have data of all of that. That's why I can tell you this number of people we receive now. And those people, that we know the number of children that we receive. We know the number of pregnant women we receive. We know the number of young boys and girls. We know the number of men that we received. Now we know the number of edition and those that have health challenges that we receive. These are the reason why we have the data.
And government is taking care of all
of them. Now look at what government is doing. The reason why
are you okay?
Let me learn. We have what government promises the prompt payment of stipend. 20,000 naira for young adults.
For how many months?
For 3 months.
After that?
Let me learn. For 3 months, then the pregnant women 25,000 naira per each. Then the little children, the infant is entitled to 10,000 naira every month for 3 months. Now the reason why it stretch for 3 months is because for us to understand areas of interest, the area they want to be trained.
Okay.
Now, because we don't just keep giving them a lot for 3 months. No, they come for verification to see them physically, because most of them say they've gone back, and now because they want to get that money, they will come for the next 3 months. That's to get that 60,000 naira. So in that 3 months, what do you want to do?
You must have engaged them within that 3 months.
Yes, that is why we are working with.
You must have evaluated what they should be good in and how to.
IOM has a comprehensive structure for ground to ensure that everybody that return through IOM program
are engaged.
You understand? IOM is being funded by EU. You know, so it's not a matter of
so what you are saying is that you ensure that everybody that comes in for that program is engaged.
Fully engaged.
That means you don't have any issue with anyone leaving the camp or leaving the place of training?
No.
You don't have any limitations? No challenge from
there is no way
attitude or behavior of the returnees?
If they come for training,
yes,
when you see the environment, they even put them in the hotel before training.
So it's very comfortable.
It's a very comfortable place. You know, it's not as if you just come from your house and there is structure. I'm talking about international standard arrangement. It's not the Edo State government are doing it for Edo people. No, that is just that Edo State government partner with these people to ensure that yes, this thing progress to every Edo people that were returned through their program.
Some argue that the government gets foreign assistance in doing this.
Yes,
and it's expected that they also give such financial assistance to the people.
Governor of Edo State,
yes,
the governor that I know, cannot receive money and not utilize it for the good people of Edo State.
Okay.
So everything the government is doing now is purely from governor's coffer, government purse. You understand me? So the speculation that governor has received this and the receipt that I will tell you, so that is not correct.
Okay.
But the governor that is why he's going everywhere to woo investors, to woo partners, to ameliorate the plight of illegal returnees in this state, and also to create an enabling environment for potential migrants to stay in this country, in this state.
Let's look at the aspect of the law and how the traffickers can be prosecuted. Has there been any success so far?
We just have a law now. The law is in place. Those people that we have several cases now that we are that is already on the advanced stage. Between now and December, you'll be on the just depending on how they accelerate the hearing of these cases that we have. You're going to be seeing some of the pastors that will be sending to where they belong, some of the native doctors that will be sent to where they belong, some of the, you know, we have several of them. There are cases. You understand? Then when a victim will be made, you see victim that is willing to say, no, I don't want to be compromised. I want to get this man arrested. You see pain of what they've been through. You know, you see how smugglers, you know, will connect with Arab men to be torturing Nigerians in foreign land just to get money, and that person will be condemned. No. So there are some ways we tell our people the bad side of these issues. Okay. Yes. You should also look at the bad side of it. No, that is no. You should also look at the bad side of it. You should look at the bad side and the bad. Man of God, if you call yourself man of God, don't preach this message. I'm not pushing on this. We are on the air. People are listening to us. Yes. You should not be trying to condemn people because they go through some. I'm not supporting trafficking anyway. But we are trying to bring some policies that are used to illegal migration. But he made the issue of Joseph. Joseph didn't travel from Yes. Joseph was sold. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. I'm not illustrating. Please, let me come in, please. Let me clarify that. Joseph wasn't. He didn't gather 500,000 naira and left. But he succeeded somewhere. He was born. He succeeded somewhere. He was sold. Joseph was sold. Did he go migration? Did he go migration? Yes or no? If you want to know what illegal, we have the statistics. Thank you very much. Now, if you look at the word illegal. Now, if you look at it from a view, you call that he was bundled, he was illegal. The brother sold him from his own way. Against his own ground. That worked for his good. If they sold him against his own way, it was illegal. It wasn't illegal. It was illegal because of this will. Are you upset now? It was against will. When you say illegal, so that was against the will of the government. It's what's illegal. Mr. Wilson, somebody gathered 700,000 in Nigeria here, and you said there's no economy, the economy is bad here, and they give to a burglar or a smuggler, and that money would have been enough for something there for you to start a business. No, and you tell like what Ugbe said, it's possible that the staff of that person be here. It's not in the country. So no matter how much money you gather here, you may not be able to embark successfully on that trade. And I also said something that distraction also added to it. Okay, but there are ways, there are procedures that have been established by the government, by institutions of government, to ensure that if you want to travel, you can. And why are they not following these procedures? Okay, that's a big question. And I think that is the responsibility of also religious leaders in ensuring that they counsel their members on following the right procedure. If possible, help them go through it. Thank you.
Listen, many of them, they are impatient. When I obtain my first visa, I know the process I pass through. Meaning I can be able to direct any of my members that want to travel to help them to skate through the same way. Beautiful. I went to Abuja to obtain my visa for my first journey. When I was going again, I went to Abuja to obtain a visa again. Meaning I must have known the process, and I must have known the requirement of the embassy. I know the requirement of the American embassy. I know the requirement of the European embassy. I know I can be able to tell this is what you need. Because if they want to go through that, they may be bounced back. Listen, they can wait for years before they. That is where the favor of God comes from. Yes, in true patience. True patience. That should be the message, not this. We are developing a story. Yes. Let me quickly tell you. All right. You see, we cannot put all our eggs in one basket. So some must pass through Sahara Desert. Forget about Sahara Desert. People that pass through, they succeeded. Now everybody does say are not the same. Now, if by the special grace of God asks you, this is the journey. Now, when God was asking the children of Israel to leave Egypt, remember there was a closer list they would have gone to where God threw them the desert, threw them to learn some certain things in life. Because God was involved. God was involved. Now, there are some traveling, there are some traveling that you have to move from one place to the other, But listen to me. And why God guides you, God leads you, until you get to your destination, God will say, this is where you are going to stay. It may be so rigorous, it may be so difficult. It doesn't really matter. Okay, but those who died in the Mediterranean Sea in the desert,
Why should you be emphasizing those with God with them? Why will you be emphasizing those with God? What about those that succeeded? Did God answer that? What is the bad example that we are finding ourselves in? That we need to encourage others or discourage others from embarking on such bigotry. If we, as a country, as a state, can really put programs on ground that will encourage people from going through this process, I strongly believe we stay. But when policies are not on ground, things are difficult for the people. Listen to me. Why did they protest at that time? Why were they protesting? Were you not in this state where people were protesting? Now, if you, Mr. Odibo, if you are very careful enough now, go there and the program, I'm not criticizing the government. We cannot put our heads in one basket. You will discover that those people that are benefiting from this program are those that are close to the government. There are people that are not close to the government, and these things are not getting to where they are. And you are telling me this program is but you don't have statistics to prove. If you don't have statistics, but it's happening. You don't have statistics to prove that. Well, these are issues we have in this society, and these are because I don't believe this man is a member of CAN, because CAN has come openly to talk against. In fact, they even place a curse on any church or any pastor that aid these issues of human trafficking and illegal migration. I believe no. His annoyance is against. His annoyance is against the factors that what is ventilating now. Yes, this is factors discouraging this strength. And now can we also criticize the media that was clear? That is why I said strength. That is why I said he's not against. That is why I'm not against. That is why it's against illegal migration. It's not against migration. It's against illegal migration. No, it's against illegal migration because Joseph made it true in Israel. I'm saying everybody there is not the same. You cannot be in this country. Now, if our government one time it was legal, and you are against illegal migration. Yeah, thank you very much. You are against it. Listen to me. I'm against it, but what I'm trying to emphasize the area that will stop it perpetually. What are the areas? Thank you very much. Now, if policies are on ground that will encourage these people that are traveling, putting things in the places that will make the art. This new government, they try to, you see, it's not by now. For example, Mr. The right way to travel, nobody stops you. Thank you very much. And you never pick it up. You have never been to the embassy. I went to the embassy the other time. Did you get the visa? You didn't get the visa. You didn't get the visa. These are the annoyances. It's not annoyance. This man has gone through it and he has maintained his visa. He wants to establish his point. Okay, let me explain my point. Now, when I cook a soup for you, Mr. Philip, I will be able to tell you that this soup is garnished. There's turkey inside, different they are inside the soup. Come and tell you. And by the time you get to the soup and you are eating, there's nothing inside. Why will you react? You're talking about the frustration that that's it. So you are encouraging people to come back, and they come back, and they are coming back. So when they come back to this ground, and it's called that the things they found there is better than what they will go back again. You cannot stop. That's the issue. Government is government is not bringing people back. People that have been brought back today were the people who were in prison, who were arrested and detained by the government. Voluntarily. They are coming back. The passion of the government is for them to not to be, trapped. No, that is for them to be parabolating the city of Lagos because of no fund. That's why he sent people down to Lagos, get a vehicle, bring it to Benin, lodge them in the hotel, get the information, and give them possible assistance. Okay, you spoke about the various farmlands where they are working on. Do we have some in Edo State, in Benin? I mentioned the community. I said Obayato community. Okay, Obayato. It's not a faceless. These are things that are verifiable. Okay. You understand? So it's not, what I'm saying is this government is working. It's working, and it cannot call you because you're not a returnee. This matter is purely for returnees, and there are people that are also entitled to that farm. Those ones that were trained in the Oko ADP. You must be trained before you get access to issues like this. Okay, now we have those who are already been trained. What about those who are not even in this platform and who are planning to travel through these means, who have not even traveled before? Now, isn't the government also looking at that aspect where you also embrace massive employment? Because we heard about during the campaign the slogan looking at over 200,000 jobs. Thank you. Let me not take much of your time on that particular one. You see, recently the
the recent recruitment of Exma in Edo State. Over 3,000 people were recruited. You heard it. Over 3,000. Those people were carefully selected in the data bank of Edo job. Yeah. You understand? So these people were sent, they were invited not by political leaders. So there are portals. There's a portal in Government House that anybody can access.
It is alive.
You said?
The portal is alive.
It's alive.
It's not dead.
You know, so these are verifiable things. These people that were invited, why did they not invite me? You understand? So there are people that portal is working. They've been engaging people in several areas. Look, just a couple of weeks ago, you saw the advert of this training of that is the examination of Edo civil service.
So the state government is working in that direction.
The job is being created on a daily basis.
All right, thank you.
So it hasn't come to you or go to people close to a person like you, that person close to you, doesn't mean that the system is not working.
Okay, your final words on this.
My final work on this is the governor of Edo State is mean well for Edo people. And if you want to travel abroad, travel the right way. Travel in a more respectful, so that you can be an ambassador of this state, ambassador of this country, an ambassador of and to be a good ambassador of either a community or state or your local nation or your family in whichever country you are. And above all, acquire skills that will give you economic value in any country that you want to go.
A word for human traffickers.
A word for is no longer, if you either you are my brother, you are my sister, or whoever you are, if you are caught in this issue of human trafficking, you face the law. The law is not that there is no option of fine when the law is according to the law of the day now. So if you are be doing this business, I will advise you to look elsewhere and do other business. Edo State is no longer safe for human trafficker. Edo State is no longer safe for human smugglers.
The narrative has changed.
Do the right thing. The government of Edo State is not smiling on this matter. If you are caught, that's it.
Thank you. Well, your final words on this, Pastor John Owugbe.
What I want to say is this: we cannot leave this matter or this issue for the government alone.
Thank you, sir.
Especially the clergymen.
Yes. Yeah.
Unlike the other day, I was when they can't hear the meeting, I was having an opportunity to watch them through the screen. Then I watched them. Papa Ogbowa was saying, after all of them must have spoken, he said, we can't leave this for the government. He said, all of us that is here now, sitting down here now, why can't us pick 5-5? If we pick 5-5 from these retirees, that we can be able to rehabilitate them and establish them. He knows that their church is capable of doing such.
And that will check criminal activity.
Papa Ogbowa said it. I watched him.
Okay.
I watched him when he said it. He even stood up by saying it. He suggested it to them.
Thank you. Thank you.
My take of this is that those that are traveling illegally, they should desist away from it. It's not encouraging.
Process.
It's not encouraging. And part through the right process, you don't even know the way. Come to me, I will take you through the right way.
God bless you.
You pay less,
yes.
But it's nothing that is free. Don't think it's going to be free.
Yes.
You pay less, you must pay visa fee.
Yes.
You must pay transport from here to Abuja.
Yes.
You must pay for the document you're going to pay for the computer.
Yes. You said they should come to you at the end, they won't know how to get to you, they will now be disturbing me. Well, don't come to have to pay for that. Their stakeholders will come to all of them. You have to pay for that. Yes. All right, your final words, Pastor Egwagi.
Actually, I told you, I am not comfortable with the word illegal migration. I want us to use the word undocumented traveling. Now, if the government want to stop and curb this menace, they have to put things on ground. Let our policies be working. Let the people see the food on the table. Let the roads are good. Let administrations they are accommodative. People will want to stay in this country. I love what Obaseki done. I love what the effort is put so far. But mind you, there's no pushover in this nation anymore. Everybody are watching. Now, by the time they discover that what the people thought was a succor is no more encouraging, they have to find their level.
Thank you. A lot has been said. Changing the narrative has been the Edo story. And we're looking at how that has been done so far. I spoke with the SSA to the governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki, on illegal migration and human trafficking, and also to Pastor John Owugbe, and of course to Pastor Egwagi Omogbe. Many thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Well, that's what we'll call it a wrap on the discussion.
you.